Ever notice how Gunsmoke feels less like a TV show and more like a time machine? You can almost smell the dust, hear the creak of the saloon doors, and feel the tension before a showdown. But behind Dodge City's grit and glory are stories just as wild as anything on screen. From hidden romances and secret scripts to near-fatal stunts and real gunfire, these are 10 amazing Gunsmoke facts even longtime fans might not know. So grab your hat, saddle up, and let's ride back to Dodge. When James Arness first auditioned for Gunsmoke, he didn't even want the job. The towering 6'7" actor had been wounded during World War II, carrying shrapnel in his leg from the Battle of Anzio that caused him pain for the rest of his life. After returning home, he struggled to find work, taking minor film roles while dealing with constant discomfort from his injuries. When CBS offered him the role of Marshal Matt Dillon, Arness hesitated, convinced another Western would fade in a few months. But fate stepped in when his friend John Wayne personally vouched for him. Wayne appeared in a network promo introducing Arness, saying, "I recommend my friend James Arness for the part of Marshal Dillon." That small gesture changed everything. The public instantly connected with Arness, whose quiet authority and physical presence gave Dillon real weight. What began as a reluctant gig turned into a 20-year commitment, with Arness appearing in all 635 episodes and becoming television's longest-running leading man. Amanda Blake's Miss Kitty wasn't just a flirtatious saloon keeper. She was one of the most complex women on 1950s television. Originally written as a minor side character, Kitty Russell evolved into the heart of Dodge City thanks to Blake's influence. Behind the scenes, she fought for more meaningful storylines, insisting that Kitty be portrayed as independent, clever, and capable of running her own business. She wanted Kitty to reflect the strength of real frontier women, not just be eye candy for the cowboys. By the mid-1960s, Miss Kitty had become a symbol of power and compassion, commanding respect from both the townsfolk and the audience. Off-screen, Amanda Blake's compassion extended far beyond the camera. She was a passionate animal rights advocate who co-founded the Arizona Animal Welfare League, one of the first no-kill shelters in the United States. Her dedication to rescuing wildlife mirrored Kitty's fierce protectiveness of Dodge City, proving Amanda Blake wasn't just playing a strong woman, she truly was one. The Gunsmoke set wasn't just dusty, it was a minefield of real dangers. Between live horses, heavy costumes, and old stunt techniques, the crew often found themselves in risky situations. James Arness, in particular, faced constant challenges because of his leg injury. During one scene, his horse unexpectedly reared back, throwing him to the ground onto a rock. Instead of calling cut, Arness got up, brushed off the dirt, and finished the scene without missing a line. That footage actually made it into the final episode. Even after years on set, the dangers didn't lessen. Blank cartridges caused burns, gunpowder residue filled the air, and the wooden structures were often unstable under studio lights. Several actors, including stunt doubles, suffered broken ribs, concussions, and sprains during filming. In those days, safety regulations were looser, and much of the realism came from genuine physical effort. So when you see Dillon wince or limp across the street, that wasn't acting flair, that was the pain of a man pushing through the real thing. Please show your support for the channel by subscribing, liking the video, and hitting the notifications bell so that you never miss a new video. Milburn Stone, who played Doc Adams, was as tough as any character in Dodge City. Behind his steady bedside manner and dry humor was a man who nearly lost his life to heart disease. In 1971, Stone underwent major heart surgery, and CBS briefly considered writing him out of the show. The thought of Dodge City without Doc seemed unthinkable, and Stone refused to let his character vanish. He fought his way back after months of recovery, determined to finish what he started. When he finally returned, the crew welcomed him with a standing ovation, and his slower, more deliberate style of acting actually added new depth to Doc. He seemed wiser, gentler, and more reflective, qualities that came straight from his real-life battle. Off-camera, Stone was known for his quick wit, love of painting, and endless devotion to his fans. He often said he played Doc exactly how he wanted his own doctor to be, and by the end of his run, he had appeared in over 600 episodes, second only to Arness himself. Color television changed Gunsmoke forever, but few realize how much effort went into that transition. By 1965, most major network shows were still filmed in black and white to save on costs, but CBS decided Gunsmoke would lead the charge. The studio built new, more detailed sets, repainted the interiors, and redesigned costumes to pop on color film. The dusty browns and muted grays were replaced with warm earth tones, golden sunlight, and vivid textures. Every bottle behind the bar, every piece of wallpaper, even the horses' saddles were selected for how they'd look on screen in full color. The crew spent weeks testing lighting angles to make sure Dodge City didn't look artificial. When the first color episode aired in 1966, audiences were stunned. It felt like stepping into the real Old West, complete with shimmering sunlight and dusty streets that almost looked touchable. The gamble paid off, cementing Gunsmoke as one of the first shows to prove that color TV could feel cinematic. Dennis Weaver's Chester Good had one of the most distinctive walks in television history, and it was no accident. Weaver created Chester's Limp himself, hoping to make the character memorable and unique. It wasn't part of the script, and no one asked for it, but his creative instinct made Chester instantly recognizable. Off-screen, Weaver was a war veteran and an accomplished athlete, known for his physical strength and determination. He once said he invented Chester's Limp to remind himself that everyone in Dodge City carried some kind of burden. When Weaver left the show to pursue other roles, fans were outraged, sending CBS thousands of letters demanding his return. Although he never came back, his legacy lived on through Festus Hagen, the scruffy, lovable deputy who replaced him. The transition between the two characters marked a turning point in Gunsmoke's tone, moving from light-hearted humor to rugged frontier realism. Still, Chester remains a fan favorite, and Weaver's thoughtful performance turned what could have been a background sidekick into a fully human figure of loyalty and heart. The list of Gunsmoke guest stars reads like a who's who of Hollywood legends before they were famous. In one episode, a teenage Kurt Russell appeared as a scrappy orphan, years before Escape from New York or Tombstone. Harrison Ford showed up as a hot-headed cowboy, and a young Jodie Foster appeared in 2 episodes before her film career even began. Even future tough guy Charles Bronson passed through Dodge, long before Death Wish made him a household name. But not every cameo was meant to launch a star. Some actors used Gunsmoke as a proving ground for emotional range, testing their ability to deliver serious drama on a tight TV schedule. And occasionally, big names would stop by just for fun. Burt Reynolds, who played the blacksmith Quint Asper, often joked that Gunsmoke was his acting school. When you watch reruns today, it's like spotting a time capsule of talent, the moment before stardom struck. By the late 50s, Gunsmoke wasn't just another Western on television. It was a production powerhouse setting new standards for realism. Every detail on screen, from the dust in the streets to the aging paint on the Long Branch Saloon, was deliberately designed to look lived in, not staged. James Arness worked closely with the crew to maintain authenticity, often insisting on reshooting scenes where the background looked too clean. The show's lighting team developed a unique visual style, low angles, heavy shadows, and that golden, dusty hue that made Dodge City feel both harsh and beautiful. Even the sound team recreated the atmosphere from scratch, mixing boots scuffing over dirt floors, creaking saddles, and echoing footsteps across wooden porches. That dedication paid off, giving Gunsmoke a cinematic realism few TV shows of the era could match. You can almost feel the heat, hear the wind, and sense the danger in every frame. It wasn't just television, it was television growing up right there in the heart of Dodge City. Behind the badge and barroom doors, the cast of Gunsmoke was a real family, but not without its arguments. Long filming hours, location shoots in sweltering heat, and the pressure of maintaining top ratings took their toll. There were disagreements over pay, script direction, and even story tone. Still, James Arness became the quiet leader who kept the peace. He often used his influence with producers to protect fellow cast members from being written out or replaced. He valued loyalty above all else, and when he called someone part of the Dodge family, he meant it. Amanda Blake once said, "Jim was the rock. If he trusted you, you were safe." That sense of loyalty helped the show weather cast changes, production challenges, and evolving audience tastes for 2 full decades. Few ensembles in television history have shown that kind of endurance or unity. When Gunsmoke finally ended, it wasn't because the story had run out. It was because of a network decision. In 1975, CBS abruptly canceled the show without telling the cast first. James Arness learned the news from the morning paper, and the cast found out through fans. After 20 seasons and over 600 episodes, the cancellation came as a shock. There was no finale, no farewell, no chance to say goodbye to Dodge City. But the legend didn't end there. In the 1980s and 1990s, reunion movies brought back Arness as an older, grizzled Matt Dillon, reflecting on a life of justice and sacrifice. The films were warmly received, proving that audiences still missed the spirit of Dodge City. Even now, decades later, reruns continue to draw loyal fans. Because Gunsmoke wasn't just a show about the Old West, it was about honor, resilience, and the kind of quiet heroism that never really goes out of style. So there you have it, 10 amazing facts about Gunsmoke, a show that shaped television history one dusty showdown at a time. From real-life courage to behind-the-scenes loyalty, it wasn't just fiction that kept Dodge City alive. It was the people who made it real. If you enjoyed this ride through the Wild West of TV history, give it a like, drop a comment, and subscribe for more amazing fun facts. Until next time, happy trails.